All right, so I had some starter issues, some electrical stuff, and I wanted to walk you through all the troubleshooting I did on how to figure it out. But for you mechanics out there, try to take a guess on what it was based off some of the symptoms. So right now, if you hit the starter button, I'm getting nothing. First thing you try to do is think like, or listen, is the relay clicking, and the relay is not clicking. But the weird thing is that what happened is on the trail, it would, every once in a while, it would work for a couple times. And I was thinking maybe it has to do with it getting really hot and then somehow that triggers it to work. I'm not sure if that's the case or not, but that's just kind of what it seemed like was happening. And I will say that I had some previous issues, and actually another funny one. The bike was running, the bike shot out the most coolant I've ever seen it shoot out. And I had kept looking at my temp gauge, and it ended up, it just said 130, even though I was like, this thing's got to be so hot. What ended up happening is that popped out. So it was just dangling there and reading the heat near the motor, and it didn't let the fan turn on. So that's a separate issue. The other issue that I had is when the e-start went out, is that the battery died, and I just put a new Trailtech stator in, a high output one, and when I took this off, the wire was actually worn, and it wasn't charging the battery. So it's so weird because I put another Trailtech stator in that I had off an old bike, and it didn't rub. So I don't know what's going on with Trailtech there. But anyways, back to my troubleshooting. So I got home. First thing, I wanted to make sure the battery was, charged up. And so I took the multimeter DC reading. I got 13.2. Seemed like a strong reading, so I didn't think it was that. And then, as I said, the relay wasn't clicking. So I kind of dove into that. I tried jumping it by putting a screwdriver across these two pieces, and that did nothing. Checked the fuse. I just put a brand new relay in because I had it for this, and that didn't seem to change anything. So the next step, I was wondering, okay, maybe the starter went out, because I've had starters go out a bunch. So what I did was I took just straight up car jumper cables, and I did positive over to the positive on the starter down here. Just I took this cable off and then clipped it right onto that thread. And that actually didn't work. So I was like, oh, maybe my starter is bound up and the brushes are shotted and I have to replace it, which sucks. And I do have a video on how to, not a full video on how to change it, but on a little tool that really helps get that annoying ring out. It's like a $20 or I don't know, $15 tool. And that made it way easier to change. Anyways, so direct power, thinking maybe the starter goes out. But then I was like, well, I'll try grounding it. I wasn't sure if you needed to ground it or not. I figured the bike was grounded. That wouldn't matter. But anyways, so I kept the red on, add the black cable, and then I clipped the black cable onto the motor. Any piece of steel. This is powder coated, so it doesn't get a good ground on that. And the starter started to work. So that's a good sign. And then I also noticed when the bike was running, if I hit the starter, I was seeing if it would spin over, and it didn't spin over, but I could hear a relay click. So bike running, hit this, and now the relay's clicking. So the relay's good. I should mention something I did check first off right away is to make sure this was tight. The ground. This is a common thing, happened many times, where you just have to take this out, sand it, and then put it back. That didn't fix it, so I went and took a fresh one off of a new bike that I have, because the other one did have a couple little kind of cut marks on it, and I've had that be an issue where it just kind of frayed a little bit and it wasn't strong enough of a ground. And so I got a fresh ground on there that's all nice and sanded, and that didn't work. So what I started doing from there was I put the meter into the upside down horseshoe, the ohms, to get a reading there. And I would go from the ground there and I would tap to the subframe. So one here, and it would just say 0L. It wasn't giving me any reading. It should give me like a point something number or a beep, you know. So that wasn't reading. So the subframe wasn't, it was telling me the subframe wasn't grounded. And so the subframe is connected, you know, a couple spots. So it's kind of weird that it goes to aluminum subframe ground, and then it has to travel onto the steel of the subframe to actually ground it. So I started checking. I did ground here, and then the other cable I touched to the motor, which I knew was working when I did the cable. So when I do that with the meter, it got that point whatever, 0.1 ohms reading, which is telling me it's working. It's grounded when I do it that way. So the next thing, so I figured there's some issue with the grounded subframe here. So I took the subframe apart, I sanded in between these joints, cleaned the bolts up, sanded between the subframe here and the frame there, put it back together thinking, okay, this thing's gonna work. Hit the starter and nothing. So I'm like, what's going on here? So I took the meter again. I did the from here, and then I started tapping on this subframe bolt, and I would get a reading. So it was connected there. So then I touched it right here on the subframe. It was working there. Touched it here. It's working there. Touched it here. It's not working. So the only thing, I was like, there's no way this is somehow not connected to the subframe. And then when I go in here, I don't know if, can you see that? Yeah, you can. So the metal bar, this metal bar of the subframe, there's two metal bars. It's welded, and it's actually, when I look at another bike, it's not much of a weld, and it's not connected. And somehow it's also not connected on this side. So you can see, so when I press it in, I get a ground, and then the starter works. So yeah, that's my issue. I cracked a subframe. I've got another subframe here, so you can see this one's actually, this is a 19 subframe, so it's a little bit different. Here's another 18, and you can see it's actually, I only see a weld there. Maybe it's welded underneath, but just a little bit of a weld there. So kind of a issue. I don't like that. I've always been a little, I don't know, not really trusting this aluminum ground on these bikes. So I think what I'm actually gonna do is I'll fix the subframe, get it welded or get a new one. A quick fix would be to just drill into the aluminum with the self-tapping screw, and that would ground it to that part that's connected to the frame. But I think what I actually want to do is take a wire from here and then run it and ground it to the frame. I think this is the other ground spot. I actually took this apart and cleaned it all, sanded them all off, make sure that there's like 4 wires connected, and make sure that was not messing up my ground for the starter somehow. But yeah, I think I'll just run a cable. I think I have to be kind of thick to run that far away. But I was looking at the Huskies, because the Husky has the composite subframe, so they can't do this quick jump, this small ground. So they have a cable that looks pretty nice. It's only like $20, surprisingly. So I'll probably get that and just run both of them. This one, I've had a lot of issues with this and cleaning this, so I'll just run a second one and go to the motor. Oh, and I will say the other thing that I initially checked was these buttons do tend to go out, so I started, flicking it, hitting it, flicking it, hitting all these, flicking them, checking it. I actually I have it hardwired in here, because I hate these plugs. You can see this bike still has the plug, and it's got that jumper in it. And I've had these plugs go out. I've had these cables pull out, so I just end up hardwiring it. Kind of sucks that it's hardwired now in this troubleshooting. It would have been nice to be able to just put a new button in and check that. But for the most part, it's nice and safe having it hardwired in. So that was another initial thing that I checked. But yeah, that's my electrical diagnostics of this bike. I'm definitely starting to learn a lot more about electric, and just trying to figure out how to work on that kind of thing. You know, I've spent a lot of time with this bike and understand the motor, the carburetor, and all the systems, but electrical, never been the best at troubleshooting, so I was pretty happy that I was able to kind of figure this out. I jumped on the phone with my friend Drew, and he gave me a couple pointers at the end, and we kind of nailed it down. So yeah, excited to kind of learn more. This bike's got over 700 hours on it, so there's just a lot of little things that just keep coming up that would never come up on this bike, which only has like 100 hours on it. And I don't know, having an old bike, it makes you really learn and things and become really in tune with things that are going on with the bike, because there's just little problems that pop up and make the bike kind of run poorly. So it's been, I don't know, it's annoying but fun at the same time. I kind of actually like it, just being able to tinker and figure out what the different issues are on this bike. You know, I've got a kickstart for this one, so it wasn't bad. I just rode the rest of the day with a kickstart. And that's the beauty of these old carb bikes. They're just, you've got options, and that's why I like them. But yeah, if you've ever had any issues like this before, or any other kind of weird electrical issues that you figured out, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. Just, you know, growing that knowledge base. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys, and, you know, we'll see you out on the trail.